Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is ReneeLouise.tech, and today we will be talking about practical tips to ensure that you succeed in 2025, both in your career and your life. If you're like me and you want to make 2025 the best year yet, then make sure that you stay tuned because I'll be sharing these tips to help you stay on track, grow and succeed in 2025. So, tip number one is going to be practice gratitude. For me, this is a huge one because I feel when you practice gratitude, you attract more into your life. God loves a grateful heart, and the way I will be practicing gratitude is by making sure I thank Him every single morning for waking me up, for all that He's doing and all that He's about to do in my life, and being quite specific about that and just having that quiet time with Him to reflect on all the amazing things He's doing, because the devil loves to make us try and forget the amazing things God is doing. Tip number two is to have firm boundaries. This is also another major one for me. Having firm boundaries is so important to succeed in 2025 because if you have firm boundaries, then you'll be able to protect your energy, protect your time, and say no to anything that doesn't align with your values and goals. This will help you stay focused, stay on track, and make sure that you are not letting anyone else come in between you and what you've set out to do in 2025. So make sure you have those boundaries, guys. So for tip number three, this is quite closely related to tip number two of having firm boundaries, and this is to stop people pleasing. I have been there for the majority and the better part of my life. But I think 2024 is the year that I decided to break that trend, because not only does it just leave you exhausted, burnt out, but you can never actually please everyone. So stop trying. Like, focus on yourself and you'll be able to show up much better for other people. So that is one tip that I'll be taking into 2025, and I want you to also practice the same thing, because people pleasing does literally nothing for you but make you feel burnt out and stressed and unfulfilled. So yeah, let's not do that in 2025. Thank you. So tip number four is prioritizing health and wellness. For me, this is so important, and straight after my priority of God, which is number one, it's my health and wellness before anything else. And the reason why I say this is because I feel when you're consistent in working out, eating healthy, it has such a domino effect to all the other areas of your life. You're able to show up more consistently for yourself in your endeavors. You're able to show up more consistently for your family and friends and for your loved ones. And it just has such positive benefits I can't explain to you. And feeling stronger, better about yourself, feeling confident. We want to feel confident. There's absolutely no room for a lack of confidence in 2025. And I feel like being on point with your health and wellness definitely makes you feel confident in other areas of your life as well. So I definitely won't be taking my foot off the gas when it comes to the gym and health and wellness in 2025, because it has done absolute wonders for my mindset, for everything that is going on in my life right now. I've been able to show up better at work, show up better for my family and friends. Anything that I want to do, I just feel like I can conquer it because I've been able to conquer the gym. And I'm still working on the healthy eating, but I've been able to conquer the gym. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, make sure that you guys are prioritizing your health and wellness, because there's only one you, and you need to keep your body and your mind in a good space to conquer in 2025. So tip number five is producing more than you consume. In 2025, this is so important. We cannot spend hours and hours on TikTok and Instagram mindlessly scrolling when that time could have been better used to produce content. For example, right now, I'm spending time producing this content for you guys, and this is going to have a better impact than scrolling on TikTok would have done. And I want you guys to also think about how you can control that screen time. Make sure that you're not mindlessly scrolling and wasting time on these apps when you can be using that time to produce whatever it is, whether it's a business, whether it's content, whether it's, it could be anything. Just produce more than you consume. And that is what I'll say for that tip. So tip number 6 is to make time for rest. This is so, so important, and something that I don't know if I did very well this year, and I want to do better in 2025. And this is because making time for rest is just as important as working hard. You need downtime to be able to tend to yourself. Just give yourself time to just process, think, enjoy yourself, and just don't think about work. You need to create that time, because if you're just totally on go mode all the time, then you can risk burnout, and that can definitely hinder you from achieving some of the goals that you've set out in 2025. It's all about working smart and not hard, guys. So make sure that you are being productive in those times and those hours that you've set out to work, and make sure that you are resting in the time that you've set out to rest, and not feel guilty about it. And this is honestly advice for me as well, because I struggle in this department when it comes to rest, because I'm just so active when it comes to something that I'm passionate about. I just want to be around the clock doing work, but scheduling time for rest is also very important. So tip number 7 is make sure that you are reflecting regularly in 2025. I think it's so easy to forget the progress that we're making when we're not reflecting on some of the things that we've done, the things that we've achieved, things that went well, even better if. And this is something that I plan to do a lot more of in 2025. In fact, I'm even going to be bringing you guys in on some of those reflections with my behind the scenes that will be coming out at the end of every single month, where I'll be talking to you about some of my key focus areas and what went well and what could have gone better, and showing you the behind the scenes of how that all went. So reflecting is super important, especially in 2025, because I feel like when you reflect, you're able to understand where you've gone wrong, if you've gone wrong, and then you can course correct, or you can even see the things that went well and give yourself some appreciation for all your hard work, because it's so normal for us to be just blindly pursuing our goals and then forgetting how far we've come, because since we've reached the goals, the bar has even raised, so it doesn't feel like we're making progress. But having that time to reflect and potentially even journal those reflections is a complete game changer in recognizing just how dope you are. So tip number 8 is to make sure that you're taking more risks. And by taking more risks, I mean apply for that job that you don't feel you qualify for. Pitch your product, even if it's just a shoddy prototype. Don't worry too much about the outcome and just give it a go. I can't emphasize how important it is to take risks in 2025, because only good things can really come from them. The worst that can happen is that they say no, and even then, at least you have actually learned the process of applying to that difficult job or going for that contract that you may not feel you're ready for. You have uncovered a bit more information that will help you achieve it in the future. I'll give you an example of a time that I took a risk and it actually worked out in my favor. I remember back in 2020 when I applied for a boot camp with Code First Girls. It was called the Nano Degree. And there were several sponsors that I could have chosen from. I think there was like Capgemini, many big names, Deloitte, Goldman Sachs, there was literally like Barclays, I can't name all of them, but there were several different companies that I could have chosen from. And out of all of the list, I said, I'm gonna go for the best company on this list. And yeah, I'm just gonna go for it and see how it goes, because why not? And the company I applied for sponsorship for this Nano Degree from was Goldman Sachs. And I was thinking to myself, even when I was applying, I was thinking, surely not. Like, Renee, Goldman Sachs, like, come on. But I did it anyways, because I thought, what's the worst that can happen? They say no. And so what? You know, I'd rather go for gold, and if it doesn't work out, I go again next time. And funny enough, I actually got it by taking that risk, knowing that, or feeling like I wasn't qualified enough, or feeling like I wasn't Goldman Sachs worthy at that point. I did it anyways, and I got it. So you guys can do it too. Make sure you're putting yourself out there. Make sure that you are taking those risks. Don't worry too much about the outcome. You miss 100% of the shots that you do not take. So do not leave these opportunities on the table. make sure that you're putting yourself out there, taking those risks, shooting your shots, whether it's to investors, whether it's to course providers, whether it's to, it could be anything, guys. Just make sure that you're putting yourself out there, taking those risks, applying for those jobs that you feel you don't qualify for, and those salaries that you think that you can't get in 2025, okay? Because that is how you are going to catapult your growth. Tip number 9 is to be more decisive in 2025. I can't tell you how much time I have even wasted not being able to make a decision. I spend so much time pondering over it, which is what we call kind of analysis paralysis. For example, even starting this YouTube channel, I remember going back and forth with myself for at least a year to 2 years, saying, should I change the name from Passport Pages to ReneeLouise.tech? Should I change it to a tech channel as opposed to a travel channel? And as a result of my lack of ability to make a decision, I've lost out on 2 whole years of content creation. And this is why it's so important to just make the decision, commit and follow through, and don't waste time in 2025. Even if you make the wrong decision, you can always course correct, but it's better to make a decision quickly than to ponder forevermore and end up making no progress and taking no action towards your goals. So that's one thing that I would urge you guys to do. Make the decision quickly, as soon as you can, even with little information, even with uncertainty, even confused, just make a decision. So tip number 10 is to make sure that you're consistent in whatever it is that you put your mind to. And by that, I mean, make sure you are just showing up regularly. If you say that you're going to go to the gym 4 times a week or 3 times a week, make sure that you are showing up for yourself in that way. Don't start with 7 days a week, burn yourself out, and then end up going no times a week by the middle of the year or even 3 months from now because you've burnt yourself out. If you say that you're going to do something, do it, and do it consistently. For example, I've said that I'm going to be posting on YouTube every single Sunday, and I want to post once a month at the end of the month, showing the behind the scenes. So that is something that I'm committed to doing, and hence why it is Saturday right now. It is freezing cold in this room, but guess what? I am filming this content because I need to get it out to YouTube. I need to make sure that I'm committing to what I've said I would. Tip number 11 is to get around like-minded people. I can't tell you how important this is, guys. When I was actually entering the tech world, I remember saying to myself, I only want people around me who are either on the same journey as me or who are further along and can help pull me up in my journey in tech. And I sure as hell made sure that that was the case. I had only tech friends at that time. I was only talking to people who were interested in technology. And that could be seen as a little bit extreme, but honestly, I was so gung-ho about securing my role within this space and making sure that I penetrate this space that I was so like, I only want to speak to people who are speaking my language. Another reason why I wanted only tech people around me at that time is because I wanted to have technical conversations with people and start picking up the jargon that I should be using, especially because that will help in interviews. It's quite clear when someone knows what they're talking about in an interview and when they don't. And I knew that by having people around me who were further along in this journey than I was, they could talk to me in technical jargon that I probably didn't even understand at the time. But with time, I was able to now speak back to them in that same jargon. And before you knew it, I was speaking fluently in technical terms. I was able to use words like stakeholder management, agile, all these key words that can help you smash an interview, believe it or not. And yeah, I'll probably do a separate video on how to smash an interview, by the way. But like I said, get around like-minded people. So that could be joining communities, that could be going to events, several ways to get around like-minded people, but I would recommend getting around people who are either on the same journey as you or further along. Right now, I'm not so like gung-ho with the whole, you just have to be a techie to speak to me, but I am still very intentional about making sure I'm getting around people who are killing it in the spaces that I would like to also kill it. So the next tip I have is similar to my tip on making time for rest, but it's also making time to reward yourself in 2025. When you achieve a huge milestone, make sure that you celebrate it, even if it's just going out for a meal, booking a hotel stay. For example, when I did my talk and I finished it, I made sure that I celebrated that. And I think I celebrated for maybe a little bit too long, because I think I had like a 2-week bender. And by a bender, I don't mean going out drinking left, right, and centre. I just mean I booked myself a hotel stay. I made sure I went out with friends back to back. I booked a whole week off of work to ensure that I was able to really immerse myself in my enjoyment and rewarding myself for all my hard work that I've been putting in preparing for this talk for the last 3 months. So I definitely celebrated, and I plan to do a lot more of that, because it gives you the drive and the motivation to just go ahead and do it all over again. Go and smash it in something else, and then go and celebrate like you've never celebrated before, and then go and do it again. I actually feel much better celebrating and enjoying myself when there's something to celebrate. I don't really like enjoying and celebrating when there's nothing really to celebrate, so it kind of just motivates me to go do something else that's really cool, do something that's like propelling me towards my destiny and my goals, and then celebrating it afterwards, because it feels so much sweeter when you've actually achieved something. And in a similar breath, my next tip is to make sure that you're making time for the people that you care about and love. That is something I'm quite proud of myself for doing this year, and I plan to continue doing it next year. And it honestly makes a difference, for sure, because I think I'm someone who's quite introverted, and typically I'd prefer to just be coding and watching my shows and just staying away from human beings. But I have had to step out of my comfort zone this year and make sure that I am showing up for them, because I wasn't about to allow my introverted ways and my desire to be alone hinder my relationships that I've been building. And it was honestly the best thing that I've ever done, having time and creating time and showing up for my family and friends. It actually even inspires me to go harder, because when I see them, like, I just love you guys so much. When I'm with them, I'm reminded of the reasons why I need to be working hard, because I want to put smiles on all of their faces consistently. I'm sure I do now, but like, I just have bigger goals of being able to cater to the people I love. And yeah, I just get so inspired, and it definitely helps me to work harder and feel more motivated in my goals that I'm trying to reach. So another tip that I'm going to give, and everyone should open their ears. I said what? Open your ear. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this, guys. It is not necessary to be perfect. Perfection is also not attainable, and it is a hindrance to your development, your progress, and the speed at which you progress. So yeah, I just wanted to hold your hand while I said that, but I'm gonna let it go now. I've been there. I feel like I still have some traits of a perfectionist, which I'm trying to also let go of, but I'm very proud of how I've been able to, this year specifically, let go of the idea of perfection. For example, when I created my prototype for devloop.sh and I put it in front of some user testers to give me some feedback on it, I was definitely cringing at the way that the app was, not in the best shape, and it wasn't perfect, and it wasn't 100% done. But at the same time, letting go of that perfection and the desire to be perfect helped me immensely, especially in that whole labs testing, user testing cycle that I did, and the ones that I'm planning on doing going forward, because it's all about validating a concept, and being able to get that feedback has been game-changing for DevLoop. And I'm so excited to be able to get back into development and implement that. And that came from letting go of my idea of perfection, because if I had said, no, I'm not going to do the labs because this product is not ready, it looks ugly, it's not where I need it to be, and I don't want anyone to see it, where would I be right now? Building something that I don't even know anyone wants to use. So I say that to say, let go of the idea of being a perfectionist. It is okay to come out with something and just execute even if it's less than optimal, and run with it. Run with it and just get better with time. Start now, get perfect later. Tip number 15 is to protect your container, guys. And by protecting your container, I mean things that you listen to, the things that you watch, the people that you speak to. Make sure it is always positive, uplifting content. I mean, it's unrealistic even for me to say it's always going to be uplifting and it's always going to be positive and yada yada yada, because I like me some ratchet music sometimes, you know. I like Foxy Brown, and her music is kind of like, you know, boss chick, and it can be a little bit derogatory, but ultimately, for the most part, I am trying to protect my container, and I want you guys to as well, because it makes such a huge difference. For example, I try now, rather than listening to Foxy Brown the entire way through the gym, I will start my gym session with an R.C. Blake's sermon or talk, and that honestly helps me to align my thoughts, my perception of myself, and it really ignites my queen consciousness, because that's what R.C. Blake's is all about. And I would highly recommend him. Highly, I recommend him to everyone. But yeah, I'm trying to protect my container more this year. I'll definitely be doing that in the next year as well, 2025, and making sure that the content that I'm consuming is uplifting, positive, and inspires me to go harder, value myself more, love myself more, and yeah, that will definitely help with achieving my goals and staying on track in 2025. Last but not least, the final tip that I have for this video is to keep learning and growing. Make sure that you are taking your learning seriously in 2025, and that doesn't just have to be learning an actual, like, I guess, language, say if you wanted to get into engineering. I'm talking about also make sure you're learning about investing and anything that it is that you are interested in and you want to get better at, getting around the like-minded people, of course, but then also taking that course, taking that certification, making sure that you are investing time in your learning and development in any area of your life. If you want to improve your gut health, make sure that you're watching content about that, learning about it. If you want to improve your business acumen, watch videos about that, or do some courses. Like, just always be learning and growing. Make sure that you are using all the resources available to you to get ahead in that area of your life. For me, I definitely want to improve my kind of business acumen and definitely my investing knowledge in 2025. So these are things that I will definitely be looking into to make sure that I can learn these areas, aside from all the learning I do for my career anyway. So yes, guys, that is it from me. Renee from the future here. I just wanted to come and quickly give you the outro that I'm missing when I was editing this video. I just want to say thank you if you have gotten to the end of this video. I hope that it's been super useful for you, and these tips will help you to conquer all that you have set out to conquer in 2025 and beyond. I'm super excited about 2025. I just have a really good feeling about it for you and for me, and I just know that God is going to do a new thing. So I hope that this has inspired you, encouraged you, motivated you, and that is a lot of what you can expect on this channel as well, for sure. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, which is coming out on the 31st of December, and it's going to be the first episode of a series that I'm introducing to the channel, but I'll explain more in the video. So make sure you come back and we'll speak again on the 31st. See you guys.